Let's see. So there's a guy who is in. He's a dancer actually, and he was in what was that dance series? League of LXD, League of Extraordinary Dancers. There's one about robots coming to life, and he also does a robot in the safety video that they had for Virgin America back when it was Virgin America. And if you like breakdancing, or if you like really precise, like robotic popping, that's the place for you. Like I said, I don't go here too often, but the guy's name is Mad Chad, Maddchadd, and the guy's just a fantastic dancer. He's pretty much limited to this kind of thing, but if you like that kind of thing, and I do, it's worth a look. Now, I'm glad I went down the list, because I haven't seen this guy for a while, but I cannot recommend this next guy highly enough. His name is his channel is named Matthias M. I guess it's Mateus. But if you're interested just in visually beautiful things, this is the guy to get. It's Matthiasm, and then it's .de. He's German. Matthias is a master of particle systems, and he has produced some of the most breathtaking work I've ever seen, set to music. It's just incredible. It's like some of the stuff, I'm looking at these things, are 8 years old now. That's how long I've been looking at him. Doesn't look like he's got a lot of new stuff. Some of it he uses like for video VJ stuff. But what this guy does with particles is simply, it's just breathtaking. It's breathtaking. And I really, really recommend it if you have a chance to just want to see some amazing thing with your eyes. Just have your eyes just go, wow. He's terrific. He's really very good. Let's see. Well, I'm not the only person to be aware of this guy. There's a really great guy who does his own special effects, Zach King, and he's got a channel called Final Cut King. He does these very, very short little videos with unbelievable special effects. Unbelievable. He's like a special effects master. He did a lot of like these 7-8 second vines. But if you want to see what can be done with, home computer and a really good imagination, Final Cut King is really entertaining and really enjoyable. I remember Jedi Kittens. He's got kittens in TIE fighters and stuff. The guy's great. He's got a great host. He's a great host. And then there's like how to hitchhike. Like, here's a how to hitchhike vine. I'm just going to look at it just so I can see it and describe what happens. So he's out on the street. Car comes by. He runs, jumps in the window, and then as the car's going by at 30 miles an hour, he jumps in the window and then waves. Now, that's all a special effect, but it's seamless. And if you really like fast, cool, really cool videos, I really recommend that as well. And that is Final Cut King. So I imagine he does it or did it all in Final Cut Pro. Here's another political, one of the few that I subscribe to. And that is Paul Joseph Watson. I find the guy... I like the mixture of I like what he says and I like how he says it. He's got a cool accent. He's got just the perfect amount of snark in there, and he's got some great numbers in terms of he's got 1.7 million subscribers. His things get seen by millions of people. Pat Condell, Sinister Mind on our comments thing live says Pat Condell's the same way. Pat Condell is the only person I used to watch regularly. I haven't seen much lately, probably because of me, but there was a period there where every single Pat Condell came out, I would just watch every one of them. I don't get to watch every Paul Joseph Watson, but the ones I do watch, I just love. I like the way he goes right at at a problem, and he calls it what it is and calls it out, and I think that's pretty cool. So going down the list of things that I happen to have. Oh, I love this guy. So Pat Condell is coming up, so let's just include Pat Condell there. Here's now this, I don't know. I think his stuff has gotten slightly weaker, but it's only because he does so much of it. One of my absolute channels by far, absolutely by far. I'm saving the best for last, by the way. Is Awaken with JP. Awaken with JP is actually the most biting commentary on how stupid this country has gotten. JP's a comedian. He looks like a hippie. He's got long red hair and he's got a ginger with a ginger beard. And he plays a hippie. And he's constantly trying to tell you how to do all of these things that hippies do. And as he tells you how to do it, you realize how unbelievably disgusting the entire philosophy is. Like the classic, this is classic, how to become gluten intolerant. That's a brilliant, brilliant piece of work. Do-it-yourself Burning Man at home, selfie psychology. He's just great. He's really, really good. He takes all of this new age stuff, all of this social justice stuff, and he just lacerates it by trying to sell it to you. And that's what's so fantastic about the guy. I don't know if he's a conservative or not. I don't really much care, but certainly he's not a liberal, because he goes after these things and, talks about how if you're going to be a social justice warrior, you've got to learn how to be willing to make snap decisions about people you don't know, and be willing to imagine the worst possible thing about that kind of thing. He plays it straight, and it's terrific. Terrific channel. I'm a big fan of JP, very big. Here's another one that's very much like the Matthias one I mentioned just a few moments ago. Again, this channel doesn't look like it's been updated for a while, but this one, like Matthias, I can really recommend. It's somewhat obscure. The channel name is Mockmoon 2000, MOCKMOON 2000. He's a Japanese photographer, and he does time-lapse stuff to music. And some of the time-lapse stuff he does is simply, it's just simply breathtakingly good. It's just so good. All of his time, Moonlight and Milky Way rising at Digenta Canyon. I mean, it's phenomenal time lapse. And if you really appreciate things like, just the beauty of the night sky and the Milky Way and all of that stuff, this is the guy. He also does. He's also very good at that. What's that thing called? It's a technique where you throw both the foreground and the background out of focus, and it makes it look like you can shoot a city. And if you throw the foreground out of focus and the background out of focus, it makes a city look like a toy, because that's how we see toys. They're right here. They're very small. I've forgotten the name of that. Yeah, let me see if I can find it, because I hate it when I don't remember things that I'm talking about. Yeah, so basically he's got this camera technique. I don't think he invented it, but it's great. And he's got all of these, no, it's not bokeh. If you look at, he goes up to the top of it. Let's say he went to Griffith Observatory and photographed downtown Los Angeles. And he did it so that the foreground was out of focus and the background's out of focus. So the only part that's in focus is downtown. It makes it look like it's a toy. I mean, you just swear it's a toy, because that's how we see models. A little models. We look at a real city, everything is so far away that it's all essentially focused at infinity. So we see all of the city and we see the background, all of it's in focus. But if we had a model city right in front of us, we'd look at the city and then we'd see stuff between us and the model city, which would be out of focus. Stuff beyond the model city would be out of focus. Tilt shift, that's it. Thank you very much. Question 9. tilt shift. It's really cool. He's got a really good one. Is he's got one called Telecom Center Tokyo Miniature, and it's the loading docks at Tokyo, and they just look like toy boats. Now he sped it up and stuff. It's worth the effort, really, really is. That's Mock Moon 2000, MOCKMOON 2000. Yeah, I don't suppose this one's going to be much of a surprise. Not only one of my favorite channels, just one of the not only one of the best channels on YouTube, just some of the best content ever. Is Smarter Every Day. I saw the first episode of Smarter Every Day, and not the first episode, but the first episode that I saw of Smarter Every Day was about firing a gun underwater. I think it was an AK, but I'm not sure. And I thought, oh, cool, I'll watch an AK underwater. Yeah, there it is. 29 million views. AK-47 underwater. He films it in slow motion. So, Destin, yeah. So I'm looking at this video and I'm thinking, okay, cool, there's going to be, oh, great, some idiot got a slow motion camera and filmed an AK-47 underwater, and yeah, it's really cool. And then just as I was about to turn it off, because you see the thing in the bubble, he says, so what's going on here? And then he starts moving with his hands, and then these diagrams appear, and then all of these equations appear, and you suddenly realize this guy's brilliant. He's not just some guy with a slow-mo camera. He's brilliant. And he takes these things, usually in slow motion, and makes them understandable. The thing I remember the most about the AK-47 thing was that when the weapon fires, there's a giant expanding ball of gas, and then the water pressure brings it back together, but it pushes it back together so hard it actually rebounds and forms a smaller one, and then it's fantastic. Yeah, somebody pointed out blast-off sounds from Kid Kennedy. Destin is just a good guy. Martin Archer says he's a real patriot too. I believe that. He's recently revealed in one of his videos that he works on missile systems, and that he either left the job or for whatever reason he finally revealed it. And I'm trying to find one of them that was just very good. Yeah, he's got one called The Future of War. And that's where I got a lot of this stuff about multi-domain weaponry. But I would have to say, of all the channels that I could recommend, this would be the one that's probably got the most universal appeal. He's just grand. He's really, really good. His personality, like I said at the beginning of this, it's the personality of the hosts that make me subscribe to a channel rather than just, oh, hey, that was a cool video. And the guy's a wonder. He's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, Smarter Every Day. I cannot recommend that highly enough. He's got tremendous subscriber base. He deserves it. 7 million subscribers. That's excellent. Smarter Every Day. This one's a little more arcane. I have one called 10th Dim, 10THDIM, and it's the guy from visualizing the 10th dimension. Now, I really got into a lot of his stuff, and I thought, man, this guy's absolutely got it. Since then, I have backed off a little bit. But if you want to talk about really bizarre, advanced metaphysics that's founded in reality, is not like astral vibrations and stuff. I mean, the guy is really pretty advanced mathematician, and some of his ideas are really profoundly good. So I really liked him, and he's just a very gentle guy, very soft-spoken guy. But imagining the 10th dimension, I've talked about many times on this show, and he's very, very good. 10th Dim, 10THDIM, interesting guy. Let's see. Okay, so that's the first pass through the list. So now I'll go and do a couple of my favorites, then we'll go to questions and see what we have to say here. I don't think he talks much about string theory, Martin. He's he's got his own theories, and I guess that means most classical scientists have, basically scoffed at it, and they're probably right too. I don't know enough about it. I just have to tell you his idea about dimensions and the symmetry of how dimensions basically repeat itself are they're just elegant, even if he's wrong. I don't know if he's right or wrong, but it's just elegant physics and really good. Okay, so now I'm going to go and get to a couple of my absolute favorites here. Yeah, why not? Okay, so a while ago, I was just floating around out there because, the YouTube's like going down a gopher hole. You go down in Kansas, you come out in Mozambique. You never know where you're going to go. Everything's connected to everything else. You see something that's interesting, and you look at the playlists or suggested videos next one. That's kind of interesting. Next thing you know, you're 8 degrees of separation from where you started, and you just find some weird stuff.